The whole story. In a land of strange happenings far, far away lived two holes, Hamish and Hermione. Their home was a chunk of Swiss cheese on a plate in the kitchen in a royal palace. One day, a family of mice came along and ate all the cheese. The cook chased the mice away, but now the two holes had nowhere to live. That cheese was getting stale anyway, said Hamish Hole. Let's leave this dreary kitchen and search for a new home, a place where holes can be useful. The king was in his dressing room when he let out a cry. Oh no, there's a hole in my sock. I can't let my people see the royal hairy legs. He called for the royal seamstress to darn his sock, but by the time she arrived, Hamish Hole had gone. The queen was in her bedroom when she let out a shriek. Oh no, there's a hole in my knickers. I can't let the people see my royal pink bottom. She called for her maid to mend her knickers, but by the time she arrived, Hermione Hole had disappeared. The princess was riding her bicycle in the palace gardens when, thump, thump, bump, she flew over the handlebars and landed in the royal compost heap. Oh no, I've got turnip tops in my tiara and there's a hole in my tire. She called for the repairman to patch her tire, but by the time he arrived, Hamish Hole was nowhere to be seen. The prince was rowing his boat on the palace lake when the water came gushing in. Oh no, there's a hole in my boat. It's going to sink. He swam to the shore, soaked and soggy, clutching his crown. But by the time he examined the boat, Hermione Hole had vanished. I've been in a royal sock and a royal bike, said Hamish. I've been in a bag and a boot and a bucket. I've even been in a red balloon that burst with an enormous bang, but everyone just seemed grumpy. I've been in a pair of royal knickers and a royal boat, said Hermione. I've been in a coat and a cart. I've even been in a milk pitcher, but nobody was pleased to see me. Everyone thinks we're a nuisance, said Hamish, but holes can be useful too. Then he yawned a big holy yawn. Let's find somewhere dark and quiet to sleep, said Hermione. Perhaps we will find a useful home tomorrow. Early the next morning, the royal carpenter was mending a chair. He searched in his dark, quiet woodshed. This piece is no good for a chair. Like he said, here's a hole and another one. What a nuisance. But then he had a thought. Maybe I could use this wood for something special. So he cut and carved and smoothed the wood into two beautiful flutes, with a hole for the mouthpiece and holes for the fingers to play. When he finished, the royal carpenter gave one to the prince and one to the princess, and they were so pleased. The king and the queen lay side by side in their big royal bed. I hope you have no more holes in your socks, my dear, said the queen. Not one, my precious, said the king, and I hope that you have no more holes in your knickers. None at all, said the queen. Those pesky holes won't bother us again. I hope you're right, said the king, but what's that noise? In their own bedroom, the prince and princess were practicing with their new flutes, and if the flutes squeaked now and again, then maybe, just maybe, two very useful holes were squeaking with delight in their wonderful new home. Here's a hole, and a hole, and a hole, and a smiling hole. And here's a hole, and a hole, and a hole, and a smiling hole.